And why do people need them, or should they have them?
So I think we've all experienced having, the bottles of shampoo and conditioner sitting on the base of the shower tray, and it can be a little bit awkward sometimes if stuff is falling over, etc., etc. So this is a trend that's become quite popular actually, and this is what we call a niche. So again, this is a kind of a first fix decision where the builder will actually cut a section out in the wall before it's tiled, and it gives you a storage facility within the confines of the shower, and it can actually look really attractive. As you can see here, we've laid it out with a selection of bathroom products. So that's something that, again, you need to communicate that.
And I would always say to clients as well to measure their products, because some products are quite big, and again, the builder doesn't mind what size niche there is, but if you don't tell him what height your product is or the depth of it, he won't know, and you won't give it. The rainhead drencher then, just to point out, does that, doesn't it? It kind of acts like a watering can, we'll say. It gives that lovely soft rain feel.
Yeah.
So I know some people put them in and think, this is a massive shower head, it's going to take the skin off my back and I'm going to be delighted. But that's not what happens, is it?
I suppose there's a couple of parameters that need to be considered when it comes to shower heads. One is how much pressure do you have. So again, if you're buying a pump, there's different options from 1 bar, 1.5 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar. The bigger the pump, the more force and pressure it's going to deliver, so that will obviously increase your flow rates. But when you're selecting the rain head versus the hand shower, in our experience, the larger the surface area of the shower head, it's more volume as opposed to power.
Okay.
Whereas on a smaller shower head, it's more concentrated. So again, going back to the example we showed here, and it's also available in this application, when you have two head options, you can toggle from having the drench experience to the power shower experience.
Okay, so I can have either or. And these are body jets, are they?
Yeah, so this application here, what we're trying to illustrate is that you have, when it comes to showering products themselves, we mentioned about the exposed product back across in the previous display. This is what we call a built-in shower valve. And a built-in shower valve gives you a bit more flexibility in terms of designing the configuration of how it's all going to be laid out. So the valve in a built-in situation is actually the product that does all the work is basically inside the wall, pre-plasterboard, pre-tiling, and then the finishing trim kit goes on surface mounted onto the finished tile. And then you have the option of different controls. So in this application here, we have a built-in valve that has a fixed head which you can have running from the ceiling or you can have running from the wall, and we have a hand shower, but it also has the option to operate what we call these body jets here as well. So we've just put two in for the purpose of display. Of course, the client can decide to put in maybe up to 6 if they wish, and put them in different positions, and they would essentially all run at the same time. So the shower itself has different diverters involved, so you can operate this outlet.
And what about kids getting into that then and actually kind of turning it on too hot and getting burnt or something like that?
Okay, so for the vast majority of the showers that we sell, they come with a thermostatic mixing valve built in, so that's a safety feature for all users of the shower, whether you're young or old, and that will have a maximum temperature set of 43 degrees. Now it may, for some people, 43 degrees might feel quite hot, but it's not going to scald. Okay, so that's a safety feature that's built in. There are some shower products on the market, and some that Sonas have as well, that are non-thermostatic, and they have different functions. They can be used in showering applications and bath filling applications. They won't necessarily have thermostats built in. But again, a lot of the modern plumbing systems now are quite balanced in terms of feed, so you won't get fluctuations between hot and cold, so it's easier to regulate temperature, but there's no maximum temperature set in a non-thermostatic shower valve.
Okay, so I love this vanity unit. Great for putting your makeup on and your shaving gear and everything ready to go, isn't it?
Yeah, so this model here from our Dijon range, beautiful example of what's possible with wall hung furniture. So you can see in this particular application, it's got a shelf on the wash basin which is integrated, and again provides lots of practical storage. People use different cosmetics and different products as they get ready, so there's a lovely opportunity to store, and in this application we're showing some nice flowers, but again that's really up to the
And
client.
also then for storage, isn't there? So I have, this is all cut around the U-bend coming down.
Yeah, so this particular product, and it would be indicative of all the furniture that we sell, inside the drawers you will have a cutout, and that allows for the waste pipe and all the supply pipes, which again is, from a practical point of view, they need to go somewhere. And then the rest of the drawer is divided up with this very neat, handy divider. So again, it keeps all your products from kind of falling around.
I love
inside.
drawers because you can actually see, I know there's a press here as well, which is practical for toilet paper and stuff, but I love the drawers because you can actually get in and take what you need and close the drawer. You're not rooting trying to find what's at the back, which is good.
It's probably a more optimum choice to maximise the space within the furniture. You'll notice as well on this particular model that it has a full extension drawer. So again, in some products the drawer might come this far, and this particular model is full extension. So again, I suppose the benefit of having the showroom here for visitors to come, touch, feel, see the product is that you can actually get up close and really get a sense of the product before you purchase.
And would you mind opening the wall hung unit there? Yeah.
Yes, so this is a wall storage unit. In this particular application, we've recessed into the wall. So while it looks to be this depth on the surface, it actually goes further back. So again, it's probably taking the concept of the niche and adapting it into a larger product. So again, this is something that if you didn't communicate to the builder early on, wouldn't be possible. The unit would sit flush on the wall, which is absolutely fine. The projection isn't particularly deep, but again, if you want to maximise actual usable space within the bathroom, you can recess the product back into the wall.
Brilliant. So you said we can compare things. Can we have a look at the toilets and compare them?
Sure, of course.
Isn't a toilet just a toilet?
Absolutely not, Gwen.
Oh, look at this. This is so fun, isn't it? Little boys, you've great ideas on display, haven't you?
Yeah, so again, this is probably an example of, for a downstairs bathroom, we would encourage people to be a bit more daring with the downstairs WC. It's a small room that's only going to be used for a few minutes at a time, so it gives you the opportunity to be a little bit risky and put a bit more kind of colour into the bathroom. I suppose for your main bathroom and your ensuite, it's something you're going to use for longer periods, so you may not be as daring with the design.
I love a bit of a feature in the downstairs. You know when you go to someone's house and you open the door to go to the downstairs loo and you get that unexpected, wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And you're right, you're only in it for a few minutes. So,
so you can add some personality and some pops of colour. This particular model we're showing here from our Charm range. Again, we've introduced this in 2020 and it has some really strong primary colours. So there's blue, green and red. White's always available as well as a standard option. But again, it just brings a bit of personality into the
and
downstairs
everything
bathroom.
is going kind of much less glossy as well, isn't it? That high gloss is kind of, you have a lovely matte finish on a lot of products.
Matte finishes are definitely on trend. So the high gloss lacquered finish, very popular for many years, but we're definitely seeing a trend towards the matte finish now. In lots of different finishes, and again, there's a lot of trend in the bathroom design. So, I suppose as a leading brand and manufacturer, we need to keep up with those trends and make sure that the products that we're innovating are addressing what people want.
Right, show me the innovations in toilets, since a toilet is not a toilet.
Okay, so I'm going to take you to a range called Resort.
How many toilets have you on display? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 31. Is that all?
And there's more available as well. We don't even show them all. So
Right.
what I'm going to do here, Gwen, is I'm going to focus on this particular product, which is a range called Resort. And this would be indicative of how we like to present product as well in the showroom. Because we've got such a vast range, in a lot of cases we would present a family of product, so we can show you all the related products. But we mentioned earlier on about toilets and the various options that you have. So I already explained to you that the standard, close cover toilet is the majority of what most people will go for. But there's different options and different specifications available within that type of product. This particular model here that we're showing is what we call a standard height. So a standard height WC would measure 400 mil approximately from the floor to the actual rim of the pan, excluding the seat and cover. In this particular case, this is what we call a short projection model. So this measures 600 millimeters from the back of the pan to the very front. So again, for small compact spaces, it gives you a little bit more floor space.
Oh yes, so this one here sticks out. If I'm using the line of the tile, this one sticks out way further than that one.
So if you take a product from the same family, which is also from the Resort family here, okay, so this particular product is what we call a comfort height. Okay, so the main difference here is the height from the floor to the rim of the pan is 450 mil. So the advantage for a comfort height pan is that accessing the product on and off is actually a little bit easier. So it's more comfortable to sit on.
So sitting on and off, and also I suppose one of my bugbears is a lot of our measurements would have been based on measurements that were taken in the 70s. So you said you're 6'3" earlier on, I'm 5'8". It's not the usual from back then. So this is probably more, I think every teenager I see now is over 6 foot, and guys, and you know, the people are growing all the time, so it's probably better to have that little bit of height, is it?
Yeah, we're certainly seeing more and more models being developed in a comfort height option. It's not going to be required for every application, but for a lot of consumers, the comfort height gives, I suppose, an added feature. But what I was also going to illustrate was the difference in the projection. So you can see here, this would have a standard projection, which would be closer to 650 up to 670 now. Another advantage of the modern toilets, and I had mentioned this to you earlier on, was about quick release seats.
Yes.
So again, hygiene and maintenance is really important. So to be able to get access to...
Do that again.
So
slower, please.
Okay, so that pops the seat back on. Okay, so when you're in the kind of the cleaning regime for the product, obviously you've got the fully shrouded design, so ceramic goes all the way back. So it's nice, smooth contours, no kind of areas to get kind of dirt and grit caught in. And then when it comes to cleaning around the pan, there's a couple of features here that I'd certainly want to highlight. So again, just to show you the quick release function. So you can take the seat off, give the seat a clean around the hinges, and then pop it back on. The other really nice design on this particular product is it's a rimless design. Okay, so if you can just look closely here, what we have is a distributor. So water will be pushed from the cistern through this distributor and it runs around the bowl, but the actual rim of the toilet is fully exposed.
So you've nowhere to put
There's
it.
no hidden rim. Yeah,
so you've nowhere to try and clean under and little grooves.
Precisely. So rimless technology is becoming more and more common. So within the Sonas offering, there's many versions available, but this one in the resort range is a really good example. So you can see here how clean it is. It's very easy to access, so your cleaning regime gets all the germs away, and it's a lovely clean finish.
And I know everybody knows I'm the brand ambassador for Sonas, but I know a couple of people, when we've shown them this, have told us that they're going to dishwash their toilet seats, which is a bit worrying, but it's always an option.
Sure.
But at least you could take it off and actually really clean it, which is the important bit, than trying to get in and out, isn't it?
Yeah, and the other good thing as well about design is that a lot of the designs of toilet seats now are becoming standard. So again, a big bugbear for people in the past was that they would buy a toilet which came with a dedicated seat. So in many years after they've installed the product, if there's ever a problem and the seat breaks, they struggle to get a replacement that will actually fit the product properly. All of the products now that we're designing, they come with either a round seat or what we call a D-shaped seat. So this is something that you can pick up as a replacement from Sonas or in any retailer, and it's going to fit the product.
So we have all of these toilets. We have the different ones. We have some flat toilet seats as well. And then this is what you were talking about earlier on. Is it about for the bathroom, the toilets are to be wall-hung and mounted? And how many kilos?
400 kilos.
400 kilos. So there's absolutely no problem, because people do have a fear that it's tenuously attached to the wall and it's going to fall if they sit on it. Sure. So there's no fear of that then. So this is what's actually hidden behind, is it?
Yeah, so this is what we call a fast fix frame. So this is a fully integrated system. It's made from steel. Obviously supporting the product both on the base and at the back is essential to get that weight capacity to work. But the frame itself then has a built-in concealed cistern, and this is fully accessible from the finished tile, and I'll show you some examples around the corner. But you've also then got your flush pipe and your waste pipe, and it's all built in. So this goes in at first fix stage. So it goes into the void or the cavity that you have. You'll then slab with plaster, you'll then tile, and then you'll have supporting rods which go in, and you'll notice that there's 2 positions on either side. So depending on the pan, there's different positions on the back of the pan. So these are made to be kind of flexible.
And can I hang this at my wall hung or my comfort height as well?
So again, the frames, this particular frame here would be designed to go into an application where you have a full height void, and you can set the frame at different height positions. So there's a range of measurements. So if you want to achieve a comfort height position, you can actually raise the frame up to accommodate that, or if you want to have it at a standard height position, you can do that as well.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Brilliant.
This piece that's sticking out, obviously this is just a protective guard, so this will be cut back depending on the thickness of the tile that the client will select.
So it won't protrude
It won't project
out.
in this situation.
Okay.
And if I can just take you around here just to show you the various options in flush plates.
Sorry, we're trying to socially distance and do this. There's a bit of a dance going on in case people are wondering why.
Sure. So again, with the product you have the frame itself, and you'll notice that there's a different height in this particular frame here. So again, in some applications, a client may want to have a wall hung pan and maybe under a window, or in a situation where they have a wash basin on the same run. So again, there's a height restriction. So you have a different frame with a slightly different
So they could have a
configuration.
ledge across the top of this
Precisely.
and the sink,
Precisely.
all the same, and then still achieve the built-in look. And okay, brilliant. And you have the black flush plates then that match the black showers that we were looking at earlier
Yeah,
on.
so again, just to tie it all back together, so obviously polished chrome is probably the most popular version, but if somebody wants to have a white option or indeed a black option to kind of
And
match
we're
back in.
back to that little thing we mentioned earlier on about looking for kind of squares and rectangles versus circles as well.
Yeah.
So you've offered both options so we can tie it in lovely.
Yeah, so again, if you're going for a square angular kind of look, you might want to consider this particular model. If you're going to go for a round, maybe soft curves, you might go for the option with the 2 buttons. And again, the plate is designed to offer a full flush, which is a 6 litre, and a half flush, which would be a 3.5 to 4 litre.
And is that pretty much standard in all the toilets that you have?
It's a legal requirement that all toilets that are installed work on a maximum of 6 litre, and in the majority of products now it comes with a dual flush option, so you have a half flush or a full flush. There are some models that you can get to work on a 4 litre flush, and that would be like an eco product. But again, the technology comes from the pan and how the sump in the pan is designed to be able to operate and carry waste away.
Tell me that in English.
Okay, so inside a pan you have a sump, okay, and that sump is designed to take the waste away
Okay.
on a capacity of water. So the standard capacity is 6 litres.
Yeah.
If somebody was to reduce the water capacity in their system, which they can easily do by reducing the height of the inlet valve, if the product is not designed to flush on 4 litres, then you may have a problem carrying waste away.
So if somebody has an old toilet and they throw a brick into it, which was the standard procedure when it was a 9 litre flush,
Yeah.
and it mightn't necessarily clear the flush, clear because it's not designed like this. And I know downstairs, because you've shown me, because I like details and stuff, that you run tests all the time on these toilets and on new products coming in, and you use sawdust and all sorts of things.
Yeah, so we have a full working testing area as part of our kind of ongoing, I suppose, quality control and product development. So we flush test the products downstairs with our technical team. So yeah, we can demonstrate that to customers how it works. But yeah, just to go back to your point about the brick in the cistern, this was a very topical issue when water charges were on the agenda. And for some older products, they would have flushed on 9 litres. Before that, they would have flushed on 12 litres. So
You're
which is
older
double.
than me.
Well, I'm just making reference to the fact that some customers have a perception that there needs to be gallons of water
Correct,
flushing the
yeah,
pan
because
away.
they've had issues where maybe they've displaced the water and it just
They
hasn't
put a
worked.
brick in
and-
as a displacement device, but the pan and the sump is not designed to carry the waste away
So
with the
that's
reduced water.
the
So in
trick.
effect what happens is you end up flushing twice, which is consuming more water.
So if you're looking for an eco product, pick one
It
that's
has to be
designed
designed
to be.
work as an eco product.
Okay.